So how important is it for Bernie to go right back in, feel good about himself?
Well, I think it's important, and then you want to do it again, right? And the guys did a real good job for Bernie. In the end, he made some good saves for us there. He made a real good save early in the first, and they made some down the stretch. He's got to make him feel good. He had a day off now. Enjoy it, and then get to work here this morning and get ready. I mean, Tampa's a real good team.
A strong end to the season for him or any of your players you think would speak well for next year?
Well, obviously, I think it's, as much as you're playing for a team and part of it, you're also playing to look after yourself. And when you do good things, everyone notices.
Mike, what have you learned about Martin Marincin and seeing him in a more higher role up the lineup?
Well, it's a real good question. Marty's gained confidence. And, when you're not playing a lot of minutes, you just look at Valley. He's been in 2 games, hardly got out there. It's hard to get rhythm when you don't get out there. So Marty was probably, I don't know if he was around 12 or 13 minutes most of the year. And the other guys were going out first. Dion and Poli went out penalty killing before him. And it started when he got out penalty killing all the time. And he's got a good stick and good hockey sense. And then he started gaining some confidence. And suddenly you notice that he's a real good skater. He's still got to work on his shot, but he can pass the puck. He's got good hockey sense. And, he's a thin guy, so he's got to work extra hard on his body. So he needs an NHL summer, one where you actually commit to being in the league and want to be a real good player and put some meat on your bones. And then he's in a position to be a real good player in the league. But, he's really come, and it's good for him.
The departure of Dion, I don't want to use the term force, but allow players like Jake and Morgan to step up into these big building blocks.
Well, for sure. No, I mean, the real good players, if you're a really talented guy, you step up no matter what. You just go by people. And the rest of us need opportunity. And some of us times it takes 2 and 3 teams, right? And you see that all over. I mean, Stroman's going to play tonight on a number of teams. He's a real good player. And so why is it that you don't get your confidence soon enough? And, everyone thinks the coach decides who goes on the ice, but that has nothing to do with it. The players decide who goes on the ice by how they play.
In Detroit, you were famous for keeping young players down in Grand Rapids as long as you could. I know numbers are an issue here, but how comfortable are you with the level of
well, I think
the
these
young guys who are coming
yeah. Well, I think they played down there lots. I mean, Willie could have easily been on the team from training camp. So could have Brownie. They could have been on the team right from the get-go, and we chose not to do that. For a number of reasons. Number one is you don't have as much time to work with Bozak and Kadri if you're talking to Nylander and Hyman and Soshnikov and those guys. So when you come in a new program, I think it's important you get the players that are supposed to be leading the way playing the way a Leaf should play. And then when you're done with that, you can help the other guys more. And so I think it's been real good for those kids. Obviously, they're very effective players that play with much more speed than the group we had. And, I mean, that's all you got to do is look at the good teams in the league and how fast they are.
Nylander's 9th game tonight, I believe. Will he be here the rest of the way? Is there any question about that? Or
not for me. I haven't sat down and said to Lou, hey, Lou, what are we doing with this guy? I mean, to me, the idea was to bring him up, to keep him up. I think the same goes with the other guys. If they can show they can play, then let's play them.
Like you got obviously a close look at Tampa last year in the playoffs. They look any different to you this time of year than maybe this time last year?
No, I think they're hitting their groove. Like obviously, I think they're 10-2-1 in the last 13 or whatever they're going. So they had some injuries, and it took them a while maybe to hit their stride. But that's often happens to teams that go to the Cup final, and then now here's another opportunity for them to get going. I think Steve's done a real good job there, obviously with their draft picks, but also with free agency. And they got good players. They got a big back end who can move. They got good goaltending with huge size, and they got great speed up front and guys that can score. So they're going to be a handful in the playoffs for sure, and they want to obviously get healthy and hit their stride going in.
What do you think of Andre Palat as a player? I know you got to see him a lot last year with Detroit.
What do I think of him?
Oh, yeah, Andre Palat. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like his story. I like where he was drafted. I like that people said he couldn't skate. I like the fact that he's gifted player who plays every night. He competes like crazy. He steals pucks. He plays in all situations, knows how to play. Just goes to show you if you got hockey sense and you compete real hard, yeah, you can find your way. And, scouts and coaches and all that, we all make mistakes. And he's a guy who, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Guy Boucher who said to them at the draft this guy. And finally they did, and he's a real good player for him, so he's a good hockey player.